Well, I'm LifeBlood. This is George G, and the time is right. Welcome to today's guest, strong and powerful Phillip Ethington. Phil, are you ready to do this?
Absolutely. Let's go.
Let's go. Philip is the founder of Vitality Box. They're a health and supplement company dedicated to making healthy change easy for the average person. Phil, tell us a little bit about your personal life, some more about your work, and why you do what you do.
Absolutely. I'm a married father of three kids. I've got two teenagers. I understand the hectic nature of life. I run a couple different businesses, and I know that, the day to day of people's lives pull them in a lot of different directions and makes it very difficult to think about their health and their wellness and be able to do things that are going to improve their ability to work better, to have better relationships with their family, to be able to spend time with their kids, and really be able to do things that are going to benefit their whole life.
We are pretty busy these days.
Yeah, absolutely.
Do you have a sense, you probably do, of how deficient we as the average American are when it comes to vitamins and minerals, just proper nutrition?
Absolutely. Yeah. I think the recent statistics out of University of Oregon say that 94% of Americans are deficient in just regular vitamins and minerals. And really, there's been a big focus lately on gut biome and gut health, which shows that if we aren't working with these symbiotic bacteria in our body, that we can't even absorb the nutrients that we're taking in. Most people aren't doing things that are improving their gut biome, whether it's drinking too much on the weekend or just eating foods that aren't going to be cultivating that bacteria. And so they won't be able to absorb the nutrients. Uh, Along with that, our modern farming practices kind of have stripped the nutritional value from our food, right? So over the last 50 years, we've lost 50% of the nutritional value within our food. So even if people feel like they're eating a well balanced diet, they're not getting the same nutritional quality that they were even 50 years ago. And, with Vitality Box, we wanted to help people from any stage in their health be able to start making choices that were going to improve their life a little bit better every day, make their life a little bit better every day. Because when you show up and you do something consistently, even if you're just seeing small changes, you compound that over time and you're going to have a big benefit. We realized one of the best places to start was with nutrition, because when you start to get the right nutrients in your body, when you're starting to cultivate that gut biome, you have better energy, you have better mood. These things translate into feeling like you have the capacity to start taking on bigger challenges in your life. So maybe you're not, maybe you're laid up in bed, or you feel like you can't even get out of the house. When you feel like your energy is increasing, like you're doing things that are building up your confidence, then you can start getting out there and doing things that you never thought that you could. Kind of back to my background, my origin story. I came from a family that was very unhealthy, very overweight. I jumped into business at a very young age, so I started my first company at 18, and then, through the grind of working at the office all day and sitting at a desk, I blossomed up to 300 pounds by the time I was 24 years old, and then I started
Wow.
having my first kids, and I realized I didn't want to give them that same health history, right? I came in with a lot of baggage, I felt like, from, my personal family story, and it wasn't their fault. It was that they didn't understand, or they weren't, they didn't have that given to them by, somebody outside. And because of the way that we approach medicine in this country, people feel really disempowered to be able to take on those health choices for themselves. They feel like, uh, a yo-yo diet is going to be the next answer that's going to help them solve their problem. They're going to jump on something for a couple of weeks, and then they might have a little bit of improvement, and then they're going to get off of that, and it's actually going to spike in the other direction. So they feel, a lack of not just confidence, but a lack of enthusiasm to even try again. They lose all of their motivation to start making these changes. They feel like there's nothing that they can really do. So I started having my children. I realized I wanted to change my health trajectory so that I could give them a better foundation to start building on their life. And so looking at Vitality Box, I understand what it is to start from a place where you feel like you don't have any enthusiasm, you don't have any confidence to move forward. And really, we wanted to give people the tools to start making small changes in their life so that they could build on that and start to create a foundation that will benefit not just their life, but the next generation and the next generation after that.
I love it. That makes a ton of sense. So many different things pulling us away from being healthy. That fact about the farming practices is just, it's staggering every time I hear that. It's super concerning. And then the stuff that we are putting in our mouths, we're harming our gut biome. So whatever nutrition is in the food that we happen to be consuming, we're still not even able to be absorbing it into our bodies.
Yeah,
So
absolutely. Yeah. And, we've got 8 billion people on the planet. That's why we've got these modern farming practices, because we have to try and pump out enough food for everybody to live. But, we've really started using agricultural methods that pull the nutrients out of the soil. We're not building back up that topsoil. So we're not getting the nutrients back into the food. And I don't know what the best answer, the best solution from that is, whether it's regenerative farming or organic. But even with organic farming, you're working with what's in the soil, right? So if the nutrients aren't in the soil and they can't be absorbed back up into the plants and then the subsequent animals, it's not going to make it into our food chain.
yeah, and you listed off some of those challenges that we're experiencing as a result of that. I just don't feel as good. I don't have the energy. I'm just physically not as healthy.
Yeah,
And if it's only been 50 years, that's a blink of an eye. So we really don't
absolutely.
know what the actual long-term cost is going to be.
And we're in the middle of probably the biggest health epidemic in modern human history, right? We've had really poor guidance as far as nutrition, what we should be eating. Look at that food pyramid that you probably grew up with, and I did, that was really promoting a very unhealthy diet that has spiked rates of cancer, diabetes, heart disease, autoimmune disease. I know so many people with autoimmune diseases where your body's literally attacking you because it's so dysfunctional, you know. And we've seen, that people are able to clear that up with proper lifestyle choices, So when they're putting the right things in their bodies and they're starting to get some exercise, they're starting to move their bodies and start to listen to their bodies, because everybody's different, in the same world where Shaquille O'Neal is a man and I am also a human man, what people need to put into their bodies is completely different for each individual person, right? And we need to be able to build that confidence that we can listen to what's going on with ourselves. We can make good choices without having a doctor tell us what we need to do. I mean, like, screenings are great. If you've got cancer, you want to find that cancer early. If you've got high blood pressure, if you've got things starting to build up, you want to be able to find that so you can work on that. But there's a lot of things that you can do just by listening to how you feel. Start making some choices that are going to make you feel better a little bit every day, and that's going to compound over time.
Yeah.
So nutrition's really where we start. And because of some of the stuff that we talked about with the nutrition deficiencies in our food supply, um, supplementation is really key. There's where you could let's just say, in order to reach the same nutritional value of what we were getting 50 years ago, you've got to eat 25 to 50% more food, right? Just to be able to get access to those nutrients for your body to be able to absorb it. But then you have this huge caloric burden, right? You're increasing the amount of food you eat, so everybody's going to have to deal with that caloric burden, and then we're not moving our bodies, and so that's just going to translate into fat storage, right? And it's going to increase obesity, which is going to compound this cascading effect of negative health choices and health consequences. So supplementation is a really important factor, and that's why we really start there. but we really want to look at the holistic picture, right? We know that it's not just nutrition. We need to be able to move our bodies so that we're starting to push the toxins and these chemicals out of our body that are inhibiting some of the way that we're feeling. We need to build lean muscle mass and decrease adipose fat tissue. But things like mindfulness and breath work, we look at the effects of medications that we're taking that are also going to have these effects of, decreasing our mood, interacting with our bodies in a negative way, decreasing libido, increasing, fat on your body. And then, what do you do with it? Because you're taking a medication for a certain issue, but it's giving you 3 side effects that are making your life a lot worse, So things like mindfulness and breath work can take the place of those medications. We've seen that 6 deep breaths has the same impact as Ambien or a Prozac, So, these ways of altering our state without having to turn to a chemical substance is going to have a cascading effect of other consequences. And helping people to get that knowledge and start to incorporate that into their daily practice,
Yeah. Yeah, I think that last part is so key, because every one of the issues that you just laid out is 100% real, and it's impacting so many of us. But when I
Yeah.
take it in total, it's like, how in the world am I ever going to figure out how to start doing these things?
Mhm.
But the answer is, let's figure out a small little piece and incorporate that into our lives and make it easy so that I can start doing it, and that will hopefully create that new virtuous cycle versus the vicious one.
Absolutely. Yeah. I mean, there's so many things going on in the world. It feels completely overwhelming, you know. And then you look at all the different health information and all the different studies that might come out saying, a glass of wine is healthy, and then all of a sudden it's not healthy, and a cup of coffee is unhealthy, and then all of a sudden it's very healthy for you. The average person can't take this information and make any sense of it for their own life. And maybe, a cup of coffee in the morning is great for you, and maybe it's terrible for another person. uh, you know, you don't know, because people are so different. You really need to be able to pay attention to what's going on with your own body and your own circumstance, and that changes over time. What we need changes, and we need to be able to flex with that. What you do, for a couple of years, and you starting to feel better, all of a sudden that might change, especially as we age and our metabolism changes or our circumstances in life change. Um, there's a whole host of ongoing effects just from COVID. So we have increase in heart conditions and these unexplained diseases and illnesses that are cascading as secondary effects of these COVID infections. And your body has changed. I know that my body's changed, and what I need to put into it, what I need to do, has changed within the last few years. So it's important to develop that relationship where you're paying attention to what's going on.
Yeah, I think that's well said. I had a physician on the show some time back, and he said, the doctor of the future is you.
Mm-hmm.
So we're always going to be interacting with different people who are going to be caring for us, and it could be your primary care doc, or who knows. There's lots of different folks who can help us to be healthy. But I think that we as individuals need to accept the responsibility that I am going to be driving. If I'm going to be a healthy person, I need to be interested and active in this process.
Right. And back to what you were saying, it feels very overwhelming for the individual person. You can't ask somebody who has had not only no training, but poor information their whole life to turn around and be a equitable partner in their health decisions. And that's why people feel like they have to rely so much on these medical professionals for every change they're going to make in their life, because they feel disempowered. And so I think that that's a real key of what we're doing here, is trying to empower people to take those steps and become, that first line doctor in their own health. And one of the things that I wanted to talk about is CBD, that's really exploded lately. But I've gone through some personal experiences. I had my grandfather passed away last year, and he had been battling with cancer and heart disease for the last decade. And he was dealing with chronic pain every day, so bad he couldn't get up and walk. And I finally got him to at least try CBD. And when he did, it was life changing for him. And I've actually heard this story repeated over and over. The explosion in CBD can help with pain management in this way that really benefits the people who are most averse to it because of the propaganda that has happened over the last 100 years, right? So this older generation, people in their 50s and older, they might be really adverse to using a cannabis-based product, but it can do wonders. It can be a miracle in their life for pain management. And then it doesn't have these side effects that a lot of their pain management regimen right now will have in their life, So, without all the side effects of these opioids that a lot of doctors are prescribing or that people feel like they need just to deal with pain on a day-to-day basis. Even, we're seeing these negative effects of long-term chronic Advil or Tylenol use and how they increase the risk of heart attack and stroke, where we don't find the same risk factors and side effects with CBD products. So I just kind of want to put that out there because, especially for an older generation, I want them to at least look into it, at least start doing some homework, talking to some people, because most likely, people who have good experiences with it, and it can take away some of that stigma.
Yeah, I appreciate that very much. So how I go to the website, talk me through the experience.
Yeah, absolutely. So back to what we've said here, we want to make it as easy as possible. So we have a line of over 50 different NSF and organic certified supplements. NSF is the highest standard in supplement purity and quality testing. So our supplements are in the top 1% of everything that you could buy out there in the market. And we also have a line of CBD products that we've independently tested for quality and purity to make sure that we're selling nothing but the best products. But we've taken that to the individual box, right? It's called Vitality Box for a reason. You can order your box and it's going to be tailored to what you need for specific things, right? So our core product is going to be the Vitality Box, which is going to come with a probiotic, a basic vitamin D supplement. It's going to come with your sorry, I'm having a brain cramp here. So it's going to come with the multivitamin that's going to have hormonal support. It's going to come with the vitamin D. It's going to come with a high potency probiotic, and then it's going to come with a high quality omega-3 fatty acid supplement. And the reason that we threw in the high omega-3 supplement is we've got recent studies, recent data that shows good levels of omega-3 will reduce all-cause mortality. That is everything from heart disease and cancer all the way up to accidents, just because your brain is going to be functioning better. And so what they've seen is having good omega-3 levels really benefit their body over the entire lifespan.
That makes sense. When my brain is functioning a little bit better, probably going
Right.
to it's going to be good everywhere. So
right. Yep.
awesome.
So that's our core pack. But I mean, if you're looking for something as far as like pain management or sleep, or you're looking to decrease anxiety, we have different nootropics and things that can help with your brain function. So just go to the website and see what box will fit with what you're looking for in your life right now.
And in terms of from an educational standpoint, how does that fit in?
Well, I think that what we've talked about here is our desire to really educate people so that they can start making these choices in their own life, right? But we do want to break that down in a way that's easy for them. So we've got tons of information on our website about each supplement, what they do. If you're looking for a certain benefit in your life, try the supplement for 60 to 90 days and really listen to your body and how it feels so that you can see whether there's a benefit for you or not. Most people are going to experience a dramatic benefit, especially if they're not taking a probiotic right now, or the omega-3s, or just basic nutrition supplementation. You're going to see a giant increase in mood and in your energy levels, and just your general sense of well-being, I think.
I love it.
Yeah,
Well, Phil, thank you so much for coming on. Give us the website.
absolutely. So the website's vitalitybox.com. And if you have any questions, please feel free to reach out to us. We're always happy to talk to our customers.
Excellent. Well, if you enjoyed this as much as I did, show Phil your appreciation and share today's show with a friend who also appreciates good ideas. Go to vitalitybox.com, VITALITY box.com, and check out everything that we've been talking about today. And I mean, the first step to begin, just begin. So take that initial
Absolutely.
first step and
Just show up. Just show up and start. Yeah.
amen. Thanks again, Phil.
All right. Thanks, George.
And until next time, remember, do your part by doing your best.